What can you say about happenings of yesterday?
Yeah, so, Caleb and I have known each other, I think we're probably somewhere around 6 years. We've had a relationship, and, you develop a bond, you care for somebody, you want them to be successful. And like I said, I've had a belief in him for a long time, enough of a belief to want him here with us at Iowa State. And you want them to be successful, you want him to be successful. And I'd say even as things move forward, I'm a fan of Caleb Brill, and I want Caleb Brill to do well, and I'll continue to have his back moving forward. However, he wants me to do that, and at the same time, it's really important as a leader of this program that the decisions that we make every single day always are in the best interest of our program. As much as I want a certain individual like Caleb, but also want to be successful, and with our team, we've got a lot in front of us still this year, and our guys have a tremendous focus. Had a great practice this morning, and we have great opportunity in front of us Saturday. So, I'm always going to be there for Caleb. I'm always going to support him and continue to support him, based on the relationship that goes back a number of years. But we're going to turn our focus, right now, and to do what we need to do to be successful, winning our game Saturday, and continue to improve, with our team in this season moving forward.
Did Caleb come to you at any point to talk about the mental health issues he addressed in his statement?
Yeah, so what I can say is, regarding mental health, it's important to me that all the young men in our program understand that mental health is a priority for us, and their well-being and mental ability to be at their best and feel good is something that we treat very seriously and we care about. And it's important that our guys know all the resources that are available to them, and we encourage them to utilize those resources. And those resources will continue to be available for everybody that's a student of Iowa State University. We'll make those available, and they'll continue to be available for Caleb as well if he chooses to utilize them. So we put mental health really high value on making sure our guys' health and wellness and that they're feeling great is a priority, and we'll continue to encourage and do everybody that's a student athlete in our program to make sure those resources, they know they're there and they can utilize them.
At what point were you aware of Caleb's mental health?
HIPAA prevents us from being able to talk about specific individuals and what they're going through. So that's something that I really out of respect for Caleb, and just like with anybody else, we can't comment on.
Generally, when you make a decision like you did yesterday, how do you weigh contextual factors and what guys are dealing with off the floor of, I guess, whatever behavior there might be that would lead you to make a decision to dismiss someone from the team?
I think anybody who comes to our program knows it's a very relationship-fueled program. We want guys in here that we want to be around, and we want around our family, and we spend a lot of time together. And so you develop those close bonds, you develop those relationships, and that's where it gets challenging, because you want the individuals so badly to be successful, and then yet there's decisions that need to be made as a leader of this program at a time they need to be made when you know that it's best for the program. And as much as you care for those individuals, you've always got to keep the program at the forefront. So, what I can say is, obviously that's something that's been happened here very recently, and and that's the position that we're currently in right now.
Caleb said in his statement that he said something he couldn't take back. Was there a single inciting incident that led to your decision? I guess that would have intimated.
No, I mean, look, the standards and expectations, and we talk about a lot of, they're very high level in our program. It's not for everybody, and so that it's important that on a daily basis everybody upholds those standards and lives up to those expectations. And so, I don't want to get into particular instances or things that have happened specifically, but like what I can say is all those daily habits that we talk about and things that are important in our program and upholding those standards, we've got to make sure that those are intact every single day.
Was giving Caleb a second chance an option?
Like I said, because he's no longer a member of our program, at this point, like talking about his specifics, I'd rather stay away from. What I can say to you as we move forward, like I said earlier, I'll always be there for Caleb. So for me as a human being and someone who cares about Caleb, like he's always going to have chances. He's always going to have chances if it comes to wanting to go to another school or be a coach someday or whatever that may be. He and I have had those direct conversations for years, and we've had them recently, and I'll always be there to support him.
You mentioned the resources available to players from a mental health standpoint. What are those, and how is it communicated to them, either within your program or athletic department wide? What they can access.
Yeah, we make our guys aware. We have mental health professionals that work throughout our athletic department that our guys are in communication with. We've also had somebody that's come in with our team specifically that has done sessions with our guys and been available as an additional resource above and beyond. And I'd like to think, even though as coaches that we're not trained professionals and don't overstep our bounds, that we're human beings who care about the young people in our program deeply, and we want to continue to encourage them to use whatever resources our university has, ones that they may be able to get otherwise, and to do everything they can to, from a mental health standpoint and wellness standpoint, to be at their best.
How much is that at the forefront over the last 2 or 3 years that maybe it wasn't previous?
Yeah, it's really important. I know it's really important to us. I know it's important to our administration throughout our department. It's important to me as the head of our program and wanting to make sure that that everybody in our program has those resources and understands what they are, knows that they have support, and they can count on us to back them, in utilizing those resources.
How did you tell the guys on the team, or did Caleb tell them, or did you tell them, or how did that come about?
Yeah, well, I can't, like I said, I won't talk about Caleb's whatever.
When it's generalities, if something like this would happen, how?
Yeah, we have a team meeting every afternoon at 4 p.m. and that was something that yesterday that we visited with our team about.
Well, how do you get along with moving forward a little bit? How do you move forward without Caleb? Like you said, you still got a lot of stuff still out there.
Yeah, I mean, for our team, as our guys came to practice today, you've heard me talk about it before. It's always important that we have a great practice. And this morning we had great energy, we had great practice. And so I'll always be someone that believes when you have a great practice, that carries over to another great practice, and then that carries over to the game. And regardless of what additional opportunities in the conference tournament or beyond may be in front of us, our focus right now is a game on Saturday. Our focus is have a great practice today, have a great team meeting today, have a great practice tomorrow, and carry that forward and put ourselves in a great position to win, against a really good team. We go to Wake on Saturday.
Who has to step up?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I would say everybody. Right now, there's opportunity out there. When there's a player who is playing 30 minutes a game, there's minutes out there to be had. And right now, I stand behind the fact that there was a point in this season, probably a month ago, where the spirit that we had, the energy we played with, the enthusiasm and the passion that our guys played with on the court and exuded as a team was as strong as any team in the country, like any team in the country. And so right now, more than spacing the floor, shooting the three, or those sort of things, what we're trying to do is work extremely intentionally to make sure that we get that back, that we reclaim that the best we can, or get it all the way back so that we're playing with that spirit. We're taking the charges, we're diving for the loose balls, we're getting the 50-50 balls, we're blocking out. So as much as there's a scheme part of this, we want that. We want that back because it's in us. We've shown we can do it, and we know what's in front of us, so it's my job to bring it out.
When you've
I believe there's a correlation then between losing that and then obviously this situation.
Yeah, I'm not going to specifically talk about how it pertains to an individual. Like, what I can say for a team is it's something that we've clearly had and everybody's seen, and everybody knows what it looks like, and we've been fortunate to have it in our program not only this year but last year, where you watch our guys play and it's the passion, the enthusiasm, the energy, and doing all those things. So why ever or why not that hasn't happened for the last 3 weeks or so, I can tell you that we are working tirelessly in every way possible to make sure we bring that back to our program.
When you've lost games and then have a player dismissed, the perception would be you're far away from having that unity, that spirit that you talked about. Do you feel like you guys are a ways off, and how do you make that gap up?
Well, what I would say is, like, going into last year, going into this year, the belief in our program wasn't real high. And what we were able to do is bring everybody together and play at a level where everybody watched and probably said, man, these guys are playing at a higher level than maybe what we thought they could. And now, you know, as we're back at the practice court, I think you go through a season and, you know, it's human nature probably by young people. Where are you ranked? Where does someone have you in a bracket? All those things come up. And so that adds, you know, for young people, probably additional pressure. Now we're at a point where what we're really working for is, let's have the most fun. Let's be the most unified. Let's do everything we can to enjoy this experience and these opportunities in front of us and recapture that. And that's how we go about getting it back. It's not about, you know, necessarily a pep talk or a motivational speech. It's reconnecting to those habits in each other.
Why did you guys lose that in the first place, that spirit?
Yeah, I would say that, you know, when you play in a league that's as competitive as the Big 12, and you're playing great teams every single night, you can play good and lose. And when you look at some of the teams at the top of our league, they're teams that are going to be 1 seeds and 2 seeds in the NCAA tournament. And so, to me, when you have a season, what I've learned as a coach over time is you go through peaks and valleys. You know, Kansas, which could end up being the overall #1 seed in the tournament, lost 3 games in a row in our league and had to regroup and gather themselves. The majority of the teams in the league have had that adversity. The team we play on Saturday started with 3 losses to begin the play, and they're really good. So everybody has those ebbs and flows, and what you want to do is try to be at your best, recapture your best, and that's what we're working to do and we'll continue to do. But it's far more out of respect for the programs that we play and how good they are, and really understanding that, than it is anything that, you know, I'd say is a knock against what we've done.
What's the
You talked a bit about needing guys to make perimeter shots to try to open things up. Now, with seemingly your best option to do that no longer on the team, is that obviously you still want to make perimeter shots, but do you guys have to recalibrate, I guess, expectations of how likely that is and adjust accordingly?
Well, I still think that regardless of somebody's shooting percentage and what they've accomplished to this point, like when you're the more aggressive team, when you're the team playing with more energy and enthusiasm, and you're doing that on the defensive end, you're doing it rebounding, you're doing it 50-50 balls when you've done your best, we've made enough shots to win. And I don't know if that means you need to make this many or that many. I really don't look at it as much as schematic related as if everybody's feeling good and everybody's making a play for each other and we're sharing the basketball and we're working to get a great shot and a great opportunity, that whatever that opportunity is, we're going to take it and make it the best we can. So we're not trying to, you know, reinvent the wheel at this point. We're trying to get guys to play to their strengths, to do the things that they do well, and do them to the best of their ability.
What's the biggest challenge for the other team?
Well, their backcourt is phenomenal, and they shoot the ball from 3. I mean, they're as prolific offensively as probably any team in the country. They've got a handful of guards that can all dribble, pass, shoot, and not just kind of shoot, but like shoot it with great consistency and regularity. And then on their front line, they do an unbelievable job doing effort-based things, rebounding, hitting the boards, and you know, doing all those things so well. So they're really gifted offensively. Defensively, they have switchability and versatility. For us, what we're really focusing on going into this game is when they played here, you know, to start a conference play, we held them to their season low point total, I think, at 62, if I'm not mistaken. And for us to be successful, we've got to be very intentional defensively. We've got to finish plays on the glass. We've got to get the loose balls. We've got to challenge that offense with our defense, and that will allow us to gain the momentum we need offensively to be successful.
Generally speaking, do we fans particularly, but us maybe sometimes?
Are you a fan?
Depends.
What
Of
does
certain
depend on?
things.
Okay.
I am.
Are you a fan right now?
I am.
Okay, thanks. We appreciate it.
How do you say what? Do people sometimes forget that the kids that they're seeing on the court, on the football field, that they're paying money for name, image, and likeness, whatever, that they're more in basketball, for example, that they're more than just 40 minutes that they see them. Do people forget that, do you think?
You mean like the pressures that are on? Yeah, I mean, I think like young people right now, there's, when you look at social media and all the things that are out there, there's probably more pressures on them than ever before. And this group is a group that went through COVID, and there was challenges involved with that, and there's been a lot of things going on that they've had to deal with. So I would say that, as human beings, again, highly competitive, we want to win every game, but I think for all of us, just taking a step back and understanding that with young people, we're all here to try to mentor, develop, support, and do everything we can within our power to provide the resources for them to make the choices for themselves to be successful moving forward. And there are more challenges, there's more distractions, and that's why I feel like I'm really proud of our coaching staff, the young men in our program, and the support that we provide for one another, because it is so important.
Regarding your relationship with Caleb, obviously, has this been one of the most difficult decisions you've had to make as a leader?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say this, I really care about being the head coach at Iowa State. This program really matters to me. It's personal, it's my family, it's my wife who played here, it's a place I've grown up coaching, and there's no position or job I honor more than being the head coach of this program. And so, regardless of how difficult a choice may or may not be in a given time, I have a responsibility, and I have a job to do, and I have to carry that out because it affects a lot of people. And so we're going to continue to make sure that we make the best decisions at the right time for this program, regardless of how challenging they may or may not be for me personally.
How can DeMarion expand his role, given you always want to, manage the workload for guys like Gabe and Jaron, and now, as you said, there are more minutes available?
Well, DeMarion gives us someone particularly defensively that's, he's got the length, athleticism, instincts, and what you've seen is for him, he's had some really good defensive moments for us. And I know when someone's not with you that's made some shots and scored some points, it's like, well, now can somebody else just score those points? And like I mentioned, I feel strongly that our defensive identity that we've created will be the way to do that. And so for DeMarion, there's going to be more opportunities for him, certainly, and he steps into more of those opportunities, a defensive intent, an effort-based focus, rebounding and bringing it to the table. That probably leads to an offensive rebound putback or a cut to score, getting to the foul line, and that's where we want to put his focus and effort and attention. He needs to be the best version of himself and do what he can do and not worry about trying to play like anybody else or do what anybody else did.
You show Robert video of last year's first half? Down there.
I won't comment on things that we may use as motivation and things that we utilize for our guys, but I just say this about Robert: he's a really effort-based, lunch pail, blue-collar worker. These are the type of challenges that he welcomes, and excited to see Robert play well on set.
All right, thanks, TJ.